Hi guys, this is Klazart doing an audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on Game 4 of the Iris versus Bisu, Bisu versus Iris quarterfinals matchup in the Avalon MSL. This is the round of 8, this is Game 4, and Bisu is precariously positioned, Iris on the verge of dumping him out of the competition. And considering, I think if you looked at the vote in Game 2 or 3, 80% of people believe that Bisu, 80% of the fans watching this game live believe that Bisu was going to comfortably win, despite Iris starting off with that 1-0 lead. And I've got to say, I've been impressed with Iris. Not only has he played aggressive StarCraft, but he's played smart StarCraft. And he's shown that he's able to compete with Bisu in all levels. And really the one victory that Bisu had was where Bisu outfoxed Iris with a very clever build order and managed to deceive him that way. But in both games, in both the other games, Iris has actually gotten the better of Bisu, so he's actually holding his own up against the Protoss Ninja. And it has to be said, in my opinion, that if anyone, any Terran player playing right now, apart obviously from Flash, is capable of holding their own against the likes of Bisu, it's Iris. He's got the experience, he's been there on the big stage, he's made it to finals of big tournaments, he's faced off against players who have been dominant in their time, and the other side of the coin, obviously, is that we all know Bisu for his Zerg destroying skills. That's his real strength, his real talent. He is, of course, incredibly good against Terrans as well. It takes a very special Terran player to beat him, but he is slightly more vulnerable versus Terran players than he is versus Zerg players, and that is obviously something that we have to keep in mind as well as we watch this series. In a very early probe sent out by Bisu, we might be seeing a forward pylon or something here, because I don't think he built a pylon in his base, and we are indeed. So Bisu might be looking to do some sort of a rush here, and Bisu, and this takes a lot of guts, guys. You are on the verge of going out of the MSL. If your opponent scouts this, you're going to be in tatters. But Bisu is building a proxy pylon on Heartbreak Ridge, nonetheless, a map that you would not think that these kind of strategies would really work on for Protoss players, but he's building a pylon almost just off that ramp, off Iris's base, outside Iris's base, and now he's putting that gateway down as well. And Iris now sending that SCV out, and this could be horrible for Bisu. If Iris scouts this, Iris is not going to scout it. Iris going straight for Bisu's base, obviously, seeing that probe come in, and Iris should feel that something is up. That probe has arrived in, well, I suppose that probe has arrived in quite early, but if Bisu had waited to put a gateway and a pylon down in his base before sending that probe out, that probe shouldn't have gotten there as quickly, so that should make Iris feel that something is up. Iris trying to wall off his choke, and Bisu obviously desperate to try and stop that, because his whole proxy build is going to be ineffective, and Bisu puts a pylon down next to the supply depot to prevent Iris from doing that, because Bisu knows he cannot afford to let Iris wall off. Iris is now forced to put that Rax down in the middle of his base, and that Rax has also been delayed by a few crucial seconds, a few critical seconds that might be just what Bisu needs to get himself an advantage in this game and get something in Iris's base. And Iris, Bisu putting that pylon down, is actually allowed that pylon to warp in all the way. He's not even cancelled that pylon fully building inside Iris's choke. That's going to prevent Iris from blocking it. Actually, no, Bisu cancelled it. Bisu must have cancelled it just as it was warping in. The camera moved away. Unfortunately, I didn't see it actually being cancelled. Meanwhile, Iris has got his refinery up as well, but he isn't mining any gas from it. He's just gotten his refinery up. Now he's starting to mine gas from it, but he's only got the one Rax up, and because he's been busy dealing with Bisu's probe in his base, he hasn't scouted at all. So that Zealot is going to come in and do a good amount of harass to Iris, who hasn't even gotten a barracks up, never mind getting a marine up. The moment he sees a Zealot, obviously he's going to try and put a bunker down, but he's going to find it a little bit difficult to do that under the pressure, and Bisu's going to be able to do a little bit of damage to Iris's economy potentially. I'm not sure just how advantageous this whole build of proxying is going to be, how strong, because Terran players, I think, are a little bit more immune and a little bit more resistant to this kind of thing than a Zerg player would be. I think a Zerg player had been caught off like this by Zealots and probes and by a proxy gateway. I think the Zerg player would have very little chance. Now the second Zealot coming in, Bisu managed to take one SCV down. Now Iris has got a Marine out. Bisu trying to get that Zealot in range of the Marine. The Marine is probably going to get down. The Marine dies. The Zealot's still alive. Those SCV trying to focus Zealots on. Iris doing a good job of microing. He's taken off all the SCVs from the gas. He's meanwhile building the factory. He's desperately trying to get as much. He knows obviously SCVs to get minerals as well. As now the second Marine pops out, trying to focus the Zealots down. Bisu doing a good job of microing as well. Both players microing desperately in this battle. Bisu trying to take another SCV down. Another SCV goes down, but the first Zealot goes down. The Zealot dies. Bisu, however, has got a second Zealot arriving, so Iris has lost a couple of SCVs. He's got a couple of Marines. He's managed to add up about 2 Marines. I think he needs to focus that probe down that's supporting that Zealot. Another SCV dies. The second Zealot dies as well. So the Zealot dies. Bisu now with only the one Zealot and the probe in Iris's base. Meanwhile, Iris has got the factory up. So Iris has defended reasonably well. However, Bisu has done some damage to his economy. Bisu has killed a couple of SCVs. Iris has defended well, however. You have got to give a lot of credit to Iris for the way he fights. But I did say to you guys that I felt that Terran players are a little bit more resistant to this kind of push than say a Zerg player would be. Bisu now continue to pump those Zealots out, continue to try and keep the pressure up on Iris, keep him back in his base for as long as possible. Iris only now sending that SCV out to scout Bisu, and now he's got the Vulture out. So now with the Vulture to help those Marines, he should be able to clear out Bisu's attack and end it here. And probably find that proxy gateway and take it down as well. Bisu cleverly putting those Zealots up on top of the ramp to make it difficult for Iris to do anything against him. Meanwhile, Bisu hasn't lost any probes and his economy is in decent shape. So you would probably say that Bisu has a decent advantage in this game right now. Not a decisive advantage by any means, but he's got a decent advantage. He's slowed his Iris down, he's messed with his head, he's messed with his build order, messed with his strategies, and done a decent amount of damage to his economy. He's killed at least, I think, 3 or 4 SCVs, and also, never mind the mining time that Iris lost, pulling at least 5 or 6 SCVs constantly off the line to try and battle against Bisu. Now Bisu coming with the Drew and a couple of Zealots to put that pressure, keep putting that pressure on Iris with about 4 Marines and a Vulture. Iris doing decent job of microing one of the Marines. One of the Marines goes down, second Marine coming under fire, second Marine's going to go down as well, second Marine goes down, third Marine goes down, just 1 Marine and 1 Vulture left. The Zealot with only a sliver of health, the Zealot kills all, as a new Marine pops out of the racks, but that Marine straight away gets cornered, but Bisu's going to pull back. He's going to go with the 1 Zealot and 1 Dragoon. Now Iris coming out, trying to focus that Zealot down with the Marines, and 1 Marine's going to go down, another Marine's probably going to go down as well. Iris careless, they're not microing as well as they should have. Both the Marines get taken out, but the Siege Tank pops, and that's why Iris was happy to sacrifice his Marines, because he had that Siege Tank popping. Now, 1 Siege Tank and Vulture, the Vulture being repaired against 1 Dragoon. Bisu's got a second Dragoon coming out as well. I'm not sure if he's got Dragoon range upgraded yet or not. I haven't actually seen that. Now that supply depot coming under fire, so Bisu keeping the pressure up on Iris, keeping him in his base the whole time. Iris fighting hard, and now Iris pushing out with a Vulture, a Marine, and a Siege Tank. I'm not sure if Iris had any opportunity to get a Spider Mine or anything like that researched. I don't think, no, he's definitely got a Machine Shop down, obviously. Now he's got a second Vulture out as well. So Iris now is going to push out against Bisu, and he needs to take that gateway down to force Bisu to build another gateway in his base, but he hasn't yet been able to get that. And I guess he doesn't want to leave a backdoor open for Bisu to sneak by through. He's gotten his economy back in decent shape, and Iris fighting really hard in this matchup to stay in this game. He doesn't want to let Bisu take him out, and now that SCV trying to get around and scout Bisu once again, but that SCV is probably going to get intercepted by Bisu's Dragoon coming in through that choke and going to block it. And yeah, that last hit was all that was needed. That SCV managed to score around the first Dragoon, but not able to get by the second. Now the Spider Mines are up for Iris, and Bisu's not going to be able to really get in and do any more damage. I think Iris might be looking to put a command center down sooner rather than later here to try and nullify some of that economic damage they took early on. Bisu's Dragoons absorb a Spider-Man hit. I think he managed to micro out of that. No, he didn't. He did take some damage to one of his Dragoons, although that might have been Dragoon that might have been damaged previously. But the key is that Bisu's been able to hold that proxy gateway, and therefore he's been able to produce consistently from 2 gateways. And now Bisu looks like he's getting ready to take his natural X, but he's putting that Nexus down. He's got about 5 Dragoons. He's going to try and run in and try and micro those Spider-Mines out. Great micro by Bisu. One of the Spider-Mines does ouch. He loses a Dragoon and takes a massive damage to the second Dragoon, and that's going to end that attack probably. So Iris with the Spider-Mines critically able to stop Bisu from doing too much more damage to him. Now Iris getting his command center up and running. Again, you feel that Bisu with probably just a slight edge